if you're open to it, would like to offer a potential solution to the Charlie Aubrey situation, I think next time you should just go shit on Aubrey's floor.
No. Zap, zip, zip, zap, zip. Welcome back. Welcome back to, what it is, what it ain't, what it do, what it don't. This is the official Doodads podcast. If you are trapped somewhere in the multiverse, you might have heard about 10 minutes of an episode that didn't get recorded, the audio. So what you saw was a really bad B-rated Caucasian Chinese dubbed kung fu flick. But anyways, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. If you're catching us, truly go check us out. YouTube, official Doodads podcast. Go to TikTok, go to Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, like and subscribe. Missed y'all last week. Sorry I missed it. I did listen to you and Steven. I thought it was flawless, honestly. I really do. But happy Father's Day. We're just going to move along.
Yeah. To get everyone up, happy Father's Day to everyone also, because, it's an important day, and I get to play golf twice. I get to play golf tomorrow, and I get to play golf on Saturday, so I get to be celebrated in that way, which I'm very grateful for. But yeah, it's just hilarious, though. I'm still a little bit dumbstruck because everything, and we're just giving you a hard time, Ken. We love you, but everything that, maybe the world just wasn't meant to hear. Maybe that conversation was just for the three of us about, maybe our wives didn't need to hear it. You'll never know, ladies. You will never know. I'll take it to the grave. Anyway.
I was also, though, because it's you want to talk about, you want content?
Yeah.
It's always wild for me being married to Courtney. Her birthday is the 17th.
Which of the 12 months? Oh, this month. Monday. Okay. Sorry.
Of October. And I'm just going to randomly bring it up now.
A little early. Slow down.
June 17th. That's her birthday. And so it's always around Father's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And, she grew up without a dad. So it's always it's been wild, dating her, being married to her, having kids with her, and seeing her as a parent who grew up as she had two moms.
Yeah.
But she didn't have the normal nuclear family. She doesn't know who her dad is, whatever. So it's always something I don't know, because she's always like, look, I made my peace with it.
Yeah.
She'll be 42. She's like, I'm good.
Yeah.
But on the outside looking in, fly on the wall, I'm always like,
yeah.
I wonder, what's your birthday like every year?
That is interesting.
But
mine is my dad's birthday is the 18th. So there's years where his birthday falls on Father's Day, and our friend Tevin's birthday is the 18th. Happy birthday, Tevin. Yeah. But yeah, there's years where Father's Day and his birthday fall on the same day. What's kind of cool is, we over the last week, not even the last week, over the last couple of days, discussed plans for Father's Day, and it's kind of weird for me to be told, it's your day, whatever you want, and because, I don't really want anything. I just want to hang out, I don't feel the need to be, celebrated or praised or anything like that. I just don't. But, and I talked to my dad today. I was like, what, I think we're doing something Friday night. We're going out to dinner, and Sunday, my dad was like, what are y'all's plans? And I was like, honestly, I don't have plans. I think we're going to go to church that morning, and truth be told, I want to watch the College World Series. I just want to hang out. I just don't want, he was like, hell yeah, me too. And so because I think there's this weird underlying pressure of I'm a dad, but I still have a dad, and we got to celebrate him, but I want to be celebrated, or whatever, and trying to figure out all this shit when it's at the end of the day, if everybody just wants to chill, let's have a phone chat, happy Father's Day, love you, and move on, it is weird. It is a weird place to be in life at the age and a growing family of my own, to be in this transition of still love my parents, but Father's Day is I'm a father now, so like, you know what I'm saying? It's.
I think it that may change when one of your parents
You think?
dies. My mom's gone, and it's crazy because we're gonna go to lunch tomorrow because tomorrow, for all those who are listening now, but now is later because you're listening now when this is released. But now what I'm talking about is now. Baseball is anybody who caught on there. Because when will then be now? Soon. But tomorrow, which would be the 13th, Thursday, we're going to go to lunch. Try to go to lunch regularly. But that's also my parents' wedding anniversary. And, my dad's, he's a widower. And
Right.
it just so happens that's like my day off. And so it's really good that we can regularly get together now on a set schedule and go eat and catch up. And it just so happened the universe had that wedding anniversary was that. So, I am a father. I am a person that has parents or whatever. But yes, it's my dad. But having a parent that's gone, I think it's a little bit more tangible. This idea of like, all right, like come to the house now. And that's what's gonna happen. He's gonna come to the house on Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm just going to cook or something, and we're going to hang out and shoot the shit for a couple hours, and then he's going to go home and take a nap because he's 82 years old.
Right.
But I don't know that I want to be celebrated or that I want to. It's the dynamic between Courtney and I. Courtney's, her, like, love language is gifts, right? Like, she's always, I'm talking about always, like, I'll laugh. I'll, like, look at Ben or Aubrey, and I'll be like, guess who got paid? Because Courtney will show up and she'll be like, look, I saw this shirt. I thought you'd really look good in it. And that's her thing. And I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I don't need anything. I don't want anything.
Right.
I want to hang out.
Right.
I want like time.
Yeah.
Like, like intimacy. That's what I want. Because I think that's what I'll be hopefully thinking about when I die. Right?
Yeah. It won't be the shirt or the.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like we'll hang out, but I'm kind of the same way. Like I want my dad to be there. I don't want him being alone.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit more tangible, I think, because of that.
That makes sense. And like
because you really do make a transition. Like you're a dad, but when you lose, it was weird. It's like when my mom died, it just
like
when Ben was born,
again.
I was like this, and it's like this circle of life.
Yeah,
like a real like.
That makes sense, and I think for me too, because Father's Day growing up was like kind of a point of contention also just within my household because one, having dad and stepdad, two, not even so much that as it was during the summer and I played tournament baseball, and like 99% of the time there were baseball tournaments on Mother's Day weekend and Father's Day weekend. And so it was always kind of this like back and forth of like, you need to be with your dad because it's Father's Day, but like you also have a baseball tournament and I want to, and my stepdad's coaching, and so it's like, it's just kind of weird, this weird thing. And then
it's unfair that you ever I don't want to say that you were put in that, whatever. I just,
just went through it,
sucks.
and I mean, because
you probably just wanted to play baseball.
That's literally all I cared about, was just playing baseball, and like now as a dad, what's crazy is somebody very close to me and who knows me very well pointed out to me recently that like a lot of stuff for me is like being looked at and coming up and being like analyzed or whatever because of certain things. Like on a weekly basis, I spend an hour plus with you talking about being a dad, and I'm now a dad and I'm raising Julia, and I now have a son coming, and my parents are getting older, and and so like there's all this just these different things that you just nobody can prepare you to deal with. You just deal with them as they come, I feel like, as best as you can, and keep talking about them and trying to learn from them, and whatnot. But, and then also, for the majority of my like older teenage and adult life, my dad lived in either New York or Connecticut. He lived in Pensacola for a period of time. So like it wasn't uncommon to not spend Father's Day with him. It was most of the time it was a phone call and catching up and an I love you kind of thing or whatever. And, so like now I've put this tremendous amount of pressure on myself to, now that he's in New Orleans and now that this family unit stuff is more in the forefront of my mind, like I put this tremendous amount of pressure on myself to, I don't want to say make up for lost time, but that's almost how it feels in a way. And it's like, at the end of the day, I don't have to do all of this stuff to make up for lost time. I feel like there's things that I can still do to show love and to be present as best as I can, and vice versa. And like, you know,
I was talking with somebody the other day about that, and you know, we were talking about movies or whatever, and I brought up this movie, this old movie from the 80s.
does it involve lightsabers?
Not at all.
All right.
Although that would be really cool to add that to this movie. But it was called Stand and Deliver, and it's a Edward James Olmos movie based on like this true story guy who basically works in a barrio school in East LA.
Yeah.
And basically takes Chicano kids and teaches them calculus. It's like you don't have to end up in the streets. Like
right.
you can learn AP calculus and go to college. And anyways, whatever. You want to know why I remember that movie? You want to know why I can quote that movie? Why I can cite like every aspect of that movie? Me and my dad were putting a model airplane together.
Watching it.
And that was something that just like, and like you said, having been doing this over the last 3 or 4 months, like that, 43 years, I've never come to that conclusion until like the other day. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, you know why I remember that movie? Because I can literally tell you about because he was telling me everything about it. It was this, and it was like an old school model airplane, like wood.
Yeah.
You had to put the paper on it and paint the paper and all that.
Crap.
Yeah. And it had a propeller because he's 82 years old. It's from his era.
Right.
Like growing up with the bombers and and so I remember sitting there just listening to him with awe, like all this information. Do you know why they painted the bottom blue? So that when it was in the sky, sometimes they couldn't see, it was to deceive what was in the sky. And just what a wild thing. But I can tell you about Lou Diamond Phillips, Edward James Olmos. I can tell you everything about that movie because of that. That's which
cool.
Is just it's an interesting thing to think about, with Father's Day and thinking about with my kids and what I think to me is important. It's like I said, I don't need the shirt.
Right.
The things that I think they will remember, the things that I hope I am remembering when I am dying.
Yeah.
It's that.
Yeah. And it's the same for me, like every year when it comes holiday, whether it's, my birthday or Father's Day or Christmas, Jamie's always like, what do you want? Like what, and it's like, I don't really want anything because most of the time when I want something, I just get it. Or like, I'm like, hey, can I get this? And you're like, no, you can't go buy a 3,000. Like what I want is so unreasonable that it just doesn't make sense. And I just need you to remind me that it's unreasonable. And so like what I asked for this year was a knife. I've always been oddly sentimental about objects, and I'm getting even more that way with Brady on the way. And like what I mean by that is like for the longest time, and I think I still have some of them somewhere, but like I used to have a safe with like my ski lift pass from the first time I went snowboarding, like bracelets and wristbands from concerts, like my Super Bowl ticket, like all that kind of stuff. And I've always been, in a weird way, like if I don't have, like I had a piece of confetti from when the confetti fell when the Saints won, and like in my mind is like if I don't have that, I know, sorry, just casually throw that in there.
I went to Miami for the Saints Super Bowl.
But in my mind, it's like this weird, like if I don't have that, it never happened or I was never there kind of thing. And so I'm becoming that way now with a son on the way of like, I want to have stuff to pass down to him, which is why I got so obsessed over getting like a nice watch. And for Father's Day this year, what I asked for was a knife. Not that like I carry a knife all the time, but like, my very close friend and business partner says that a real man always carries cash and a pocket knife. And so anytime he asks something to be cut, he never asks me because in his eyes, I'm not a real man because I don't carry a pocket knife. So, all right, Danny, you're getting what you want. I'm getting a knife. But anyway, it's just like there's something like oddly sentimental and cool to me about having things to pass on to a son. Because like and I don't know, but like I have my grandfather's wedding ring. That like when my grandmother died, I have all of his fellowship material, which is extremely cool also. But like I want that stuff to continue to pass. So like that's where I start thinking when it comes to like these gifts, especially for Father's Day. So yeah, it's not about what I get or anything. We're going, what we're doing Sunday? We're going to church and we're going to grab some lunch, brunch, or whatever, and then we're going to see a movie that Julia wants to go see. Because, like, what else are we going to do? Like, that's how I want to spend my time.
We're going, so Cherie had brought up getting tickets because her birthday's in February to Matt Rife. And so we bought the tickets, and then the singer, something happened. I don't know if he learned, whatever happened.
Yeah.
But he had to cancel, or they had to change the dates. Just so happens, instead of for her birthday,
Doing it for Courtney's birthday.
So we're going this Saturday. So we're going to go to NOLA. We're going to go eat. We're going to
Nice.
hang out, kind of make it a birthday weekend, whatever, Father's Day, whatever. And then,
That's cool.
yeah, we'll come home late, and I hope not to wake up too early. Ben will achieve whatever time I need to be up.
Yeah.
He'll make sure I'm
I'll
up.
let you know.
And then Dad will come over. But
Yeah.
man, you talk about like having stuff. I have a I have a box that's almost 30 years old of a lot of memorabilia and things that I've experienced over almost 30 years, like just pictures, people that aren't here anymore, obituaries, pieces of literature, magazine things, just badges to things. I have a number of those, but I have a box of me and Courtney and Aubrey and Ben. And it's not every Father's Day card or birthday card, but it's like certain ones.
Yeah.
It's something that I have a very specific thing that Aubrey gave me, and that I will never reveal to her what it is. And I don't know if she listens to this. She may not after that one episode.
Yeah, she's definitely unsubscribed.
But I have this one thing of hers because I do want her to know if I were to die tragically, she knows that, like, look, like you imprinted on my life in a way that is can't be explained. I have the 2 pea sticks.
Okay.
Pregnancy.
Yeah.
I've got my wristband from the hospital. I've got. I mean, just like
Yeah.
I have all these things. I have the little match box or a little match pack or whatever from our wedding. All that stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm all about stuff like that. Like that kind of stuff is like really cute and fun. And I do because my dad, 80-something years old, he's got Mickey Mantle. He's got Joey D. He's got Teddy W. Legit. His favorite, and my dad grew up like in the heyday of the Bronx Bombers, like the Yankees, like undefeated, 10 championships in over like a 12-year period, like Yogi Berra, Joey. He is that era, and his favorite baseball player of all time was Ted Williams, because he said, Ted Williams went and fought a war, came back, and still had like the batting crown, and then hit a home run and retired.
Yeah. So thanks.
Yeah, but and that's like one of those things that I hope I have him for 10 more years.
Right.
But when I told him, I said, I don't care. I want your guns and I want your cards. Like that's all. That's all I want. Because he's got old little revolvers and stuff.
Yeah.
He was a kid. Because I want Ben.
Yeah.
I don't know what those Mickey Mantles are. He won't pull them out, and I don't know what a Joey D card. I'm pretty sure. Well, a few shekels.
Yeah.
A few shecklins.
Handful of American dollars.
But what it'll be worth for Ben,
right,
or whatever,
far outweighs it, and it's.
And I've got the 2 whole life policies for both Aubrey and Ben.
Oh,
so
perfect. Yeah.
If I don't die in the next, now 17 years, then they'll both have some cash value.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah, that's the unspoken about adult thing. We did that. Me and Jamie have them, and then we got one on Julia too. Just
I don't know if I'll tell Ben about his though for a while because he'll be like 18.
Oh yeah.
Aubrey will be 32. She'll be responsible enough to get any sort of.
I'm gonna use it as bond money if I have to, but oh man, I had a thought and I lost it. I don't know, but no, I do.
Cards.
Oh yeah, well, so that's something. Talk about like remembering the paper airplane or the model airplane thing. That's my dad, for as long as I can remember, and still to this day, has always dealt in and traded and bought and sold sports memorabilia. And like I remember going to baseball card shows and hotel conference rooms when I was little and stuff. And I remember, dude, I don't know how old I was, but I was probably less than 10. And I don't know if I'm remembering this correctly, but this is how I remember it. He had a buddy that had a baseball card shop in New Orleans somewhere, and they would go over there like after hours and like put up a piece of memorabilia and then play Yahtzee, winner take all. Like just yeah. And I mean, you know, the degeneracy is in my blood, but yeah.
With that kind of, I mean,
you know,
dude, like some things are
there now, granted, I mean there's been some
I
dupings.
feel like some Danny Ocean stuff.
Some,
you know, like
there's been some dupings of sorts over the
Ocean's
years on
like,
some like
you don't shake Sinatra's hand, man. You don't bet with certain things.
yeah.
Just,
Well, teach their own, I guess, but but I, you know, but yeah, I want to have those things, and maybe I do. Maybe I have stuff that'll be left to me. Maybe I don't. Doesn't really bother me either way. I just know that like I want that for Julia and or Brady. Julia's got these little. It's actually one of the one of the first things I tattooed on my leg when her middle name is Rose, and when my grandmother passed, my aunt, my dad's sister, she used to Rose. Mm-hmm. So Julia Rose was going to be the name of my youngest brother if he was a girl, and we stole it from my parents when Julia was cooking. And so, but my grandmother like collected porcelain roses, and so when Julia was born, my Aunt Kim sent those roses that were Grandma Dot's, and they're like on Julia's dresser, and one of them I took a picture of and tattooed on my leg, and then like, but I have the same kind of stuff, and like another thought that I had that I thought would be kind of cool, and we'll see if I stick to it consistently, but doing like a Dear Brady, like a journal on a daily basis to give to him at some point when I croak or whatever, just to be like, what was Dad thinking about in December of 2025, you know, or on this random day or whatever. Because I feel like I have this weird, vague memory of at some point reading my grandfather's letters back to my grandmother from Vietnam. And I don't know where I might have done or seen or read that, or if I made
real
it
talk,
up.
Dude, real talk.
But that's cool.
That was my dad and mom.
Yeah.
Real talk. When he was stationed, and then when he went, like, that's one of those things, and I think it's kind of like the whole like every Friday I go, I get flowers for
right
to do the whole thing, because like I really did, you know, and this is always I hate to say disconnect, but the thing about me and my dad is that like there is this man that I met this old man,
yeah,
but there was this man before the old man that I met that like apparently had some real like ideals and was a bit of a romantic and did certain things that I was like, man, like the dude was pretty cool. I don't know what happened to him, but like, yeah, dude, he used to write letters to my mom. He would write her, you know, and we're butthurt if we don't get a text back in 5 minutes, you know.
I used to draw
by
Jamie
the way,
pictures.
I don't mean to keep looking at my phone, people, but if you're watching now in the now, which is later now, but the now, later now, as of right now, Game 3. Celtics with 11 minutes left in the game are up 91-70. So they're going to get number 18.
Blew it wide open.
And, you know, the running joke, RIP to the logo.
Yeah.
But they said that Mr. West wanted to go before he saw the Celtics win another championship. So
the universe is undefeated. Somebody told me that. Yeah, oh, man.
Oh, and thinking about the plane, it's crazy because as I was talking about it, I'm like, and I want that plane. And I know exactly where it's at. Because it's
cool.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm 43. It's 35 plus years old.
That's wild.
And it's sitting up there. I look at it every time. I mean, literally, I walk in my parents' house and I go, oh, it's the airplane.
It's still there.
Still there.
Man,
and it's
that is cool.
That's the stuff I think also maybe to go full circle with is that when you talk about like you don't know if things are left to you, but your dad or your stepdad may not realize what is important to you.
Yeah.
That you would hope that they leave.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I'm saying like, I don't know that my dad realizes what like that plane. Because even to me, until just recently, did I realize how important that plane. So it makes me think about like, man, I want to be real conscious and really aware of the things I do with Ben or with Aubrey, because, you know, if I die tomorrow, I want to make sure those things they get to have.
Yeah.
So I need to be like, all right, like this day was a big deal because
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, you're right. I mean, I think about it.
Obscure things become very important.
Well, yeah, and I think about it too, and like through us talk, you know, like what are Julia and Brady's baseball card show stories going to be about me? You know, like,
Right.
and I think that puts us in a position to really try to live in and enjoy every moment, because we don't know what they're going to be. You know, like I could be wrong, but like maybe there was something there, a little father and son go to the baseball card show, but like I also think my dad was hustling and trying to do his deal and swapping cards and memorabilia, you know, like, and it was cool that I got to tag along. But to me, it was like something that I remember doing, and you know,
I went to Raising Cane's today for lunch. Like I just was like on a whim. I was like, I haven't had Cane's in a while, and I was sitting there eating, and you know, I was just reminiscing on the day, and I thought about my mom and talk about random obscure things that you think about, and you go like how it actually played out to you at that age, but what it really was probably. The thing I remember about my mom the most when we would go places and getting fast food is that she would literally look at me and go, hey, what, you want a cheeseburger, baby? Let's go get a cheeseburger. Whatever you want. Because she wanted a Diet Coke and some fries. And when I look back, now I'm like,
you
Mom
just,
thought,
like,
I'm
you
like,
slick.
Yeah, she was being real, you know, whatever. But yeah.
Well, that's like that. You ever seen that meme, the dad hack of like, creating a challenge for your kids to draw daddy taking a nap so that the dad could catch a nap on the couch real quick? It's awesome.
I'm about to try that.
But no, I mean, and I think all of that stuff plays into what we've talked about from the very beginning about legacy. Like that's part of it too. I think, you know, like
what are the stories you're going to tell?
What are like I think about that with like I wonder, like giving this to Brady one day and him being like, I wonder where Dad wore that watch. Like there's a picture of him wearing it. Look, he's on the freaking internet wearing it. You know, like that. You know, that watch has seen some stuff and been some places like that. That's the kind of like sentimental stuff I think about, and like.
Yeah, my dad's got an old smoking jacket. Now that I think about it, he's not a smoke, but it's like that old school, like, you know, it's kind of like velvet or whatever. And you would wear it in you'd go into the smoking lounge.
Right.
You'd have your bourbon and your and my dad doesn't even smoke. He's not a pipe smoker, nothing. But I'm going like. Now I'm thinking, man, I need that jacket.
If the next time we smoke a cigar, you're not wearing that jacket, I will never smoke a cigar with you again. Which we need to do, by the way. Also,
we do. I haven't
minute.
Smoked in a while. And
you know what? Sorry, I haven't. I was just telling Jamie the other day when Ken gave us those cigars when he got back from his trip. I was like, man, I haven't had a cigar in a while, and I was thoroughly convinced at one point that like this was gonna be my thing. Like I got the things and the thing, and she was like, yeah, but that one time when y'all came over to my house and we smoked those cigars. I lost my cutter and my torch and couldn't find them anywhere. Well, however many months we are now later, I picked up some golf balls for my outings this week, and I went to put them in my golf bag in my office, and there was my torch and my cutter. I guess I brought it to play golf one day and forgot that they were in there. So I'm back, baby. I'm back.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's hotter than a hooker in church outside.
Yeah. And they get hot, boy.
And
I tell you,
dude, and it's only June.
I know, man.
Like I've been sitting there, especially with like where my porch faces. Like I'm like the sun just kicks
nasty.
the shit out of me, and I'm just going. I don't know how much I want this $25 cigar now.
I will say, when I went running this morning, it was brisk. It was like a brisk 72. It was beautiful.
Morning was
it was
nice.
nice. What in the world? Speaking of.
Everything all right?
Yeah, everything's fine.
I'm sure.
No, I'm 100% sure.
Okay.
Jamie she doesn't like going to sleep without me home.
Aww.
She feels safe because, you know, I'm that guy. I'm him. I'm built different, as the kids say. But anyway, dude, I feel like there's so many like fun, interesting things that have happened since the last time we talked. But, you know, last episode, or the one before, whatever, you had shared some of your shortcomings and downfalls, and dude, I certainly had one of those evenings just last night. Just like, I don't know what it was, if I'm just a little bit agitated or a little bit irritable or whatever, but like, man, I am so over the whining and the bitching and the negotiating and the like. I'm just like at the point of like, you know what? If you don't like it, there's a kennel in the laundry room where your dog hangs out. You can go hang out in there with him if you'd like. And like, especially at 8:45 at night, 9 o'clock or whatever, when I'm tired. And let the record show, I've never put my kid in the kennel. We have a picture in our living room hanging on the wall.
Not 15 yet.
Well, I know, and I know, and
because the dog shit again on the rug.
Oh, yours did, and she didn't clean it up.
No, came home for lunch.
Oh, she didn't.
I was like, hey, you know
before.
what? No. This is another. The new experience.
No, yeah.
Yeah. I came home for lunch. It's like man. Courtney had made this banging like buffalo chicken mac thing. Yeah, had it on my mind.
Text the recipe.
Had it on my mind. I was gonna sit in my recliner, catch me a good 20 minutes, eat just like total gut rot carb, just lovely juicy.
Yeah,
oh.
Sounds so good.
I walk in the door and I'm like, what the? And I come around the other side of the coffee table. You want to talk about I walked into her bedroom and kicked the bottom of her bed. I said, this is the problem. I took a picture of it. I sent it to Courtney. I said, yet again. I said, I'm not dealing with it.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about it. I said, I can't even come home and eat lunch. And she was like, I'm taking her tablet and her phone. And I was like, it's, okay, whatever.
Right.
When they're taught, it's so much easier for me to deal. And I think it really is the dynamic. It's got nothing to do with, blood and
Yeah.
I mean, literally, it's the dynamic. Because having a teenager and having a toddler are almost the same, but the teenager knows better.
Right.
Like the teenager literally, no, here's the deal. You can stay up all night on your tablet, your iPhone, with your YouTube TV, and you can ticky-tock and do your little Insta dance and whatever, and y'all can get everything on fleek, whatever, as late as you want. We don't, it's summertime. We're not, do you?
Right.
But that means wake up at a responsible hour to take care of your dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
You were in bed at noon with I'm talking about Lincoln log size turd. Like, literally, when he's whining or being him, I'm like, hey, bro, you're being rude.
Yeah.
Mommy and daddy are talking right now, and you're being rude. I don't want to be rude. Then let's not, okay? I want to hear you and I want to listen to you, but mommy's trying to talk to daddy right now, and let's let that finish. I see you.
Yeah.
And I do want to give you that time, but you're being rude, and that's not okay.
Right.
We don't like rude people. Being rude is not okay. He understands that. And it's like also this idea of like, you've got to understand, like, things don't, the pop. I want a pop. Yeah. Pops happen on Friday. You get a cake pop on Friday. That's how it is. Like it's our little thing, right? Today picked him up. Man, I want my pop. And I'm like, yeah. What day is it?
He sounds like Kermit.
Right. Yeah, I threw the Trav downfield. T Swizzle, how's it going? But like, he looks at me. He's like, I want a pop. And I'm, yeah. What day is it? I want to pop.
Yeah.
It's Wednesday.
Give a shit.
It's Wednesday. You get one on Friday.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I get it. But like when they're teenagers, because that's where the patience for me, and I have to reel it in because I have to go back to like, what's your damage? What's your stuff?
Right.
But it's like this, you are a capable individual. I don't expect you to pay the mortgage or go forage for sustenance. Sure. But wake up at a decent time to take care of your dog, maybe put a couple dishes up.
Yeah. Maybe that's part of my problem because, well, for one, I laughed at the you're being rude because that's how it all started. Like I came home from where I was talking about a lot of things and then wanted to share them with my wife because she was involved in all, and I wanted to, and like what pisses me off more than anything in the world, and I get it, she is 4, let's just say. She'll be 4 in 20-something days, okay? When she doesn't she can't handle not being the center of attention. When me and Jamie are having a conversation, she will make shit up that has nothing to do with anything. And like I get it. I want to hear you. I do. And but like you said, like, can we not just get 4 words in back? Because like my problem is, and I think what set me over the edge was like this was typically when it's just nonsensical bullshit, like I can deal with it and I can brush it off. But like this was something that I really wanted to talk to my wife about. And maybe I picked the wrong time to talk to her about it. But I also knew that it was bedtime, and because she's 5.5 months pregnant and super sleepy all the time, she goes to put Julia to bed and she falls asleep, and then next thing you know, we haven't talked in 3 days, and it's like, oh, I don't even care anymore. I don't, I've processed it myself. And so like I wanted to talk
I
about
totally
it.
forgot that Jamie's pregnant.
Oh yeah.
This is kind of, I'm just saying, like
I just talked about Brady for
but
like
it all makes
15
sense.
minutes.
But what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
it all makes sense now.
No, it does. And I think that, because Julia's
Sleepy
been
mom.
sleeping mom. She's stupid. Yeah, she's always sleeping mom. But, I love my little sleepy wife.
Yeah.
But, that's what they say. There's two people who get married, or there's, the people that need 10 hours of sleep and still can't function, and the people that can run on 4 hours of sleep, and they marry each other. You and I are B. I don't know what Courtney's like. Jamie is A, and it's okay. We love her, and we move on, and we enjoy her sleepiness. But like, it's the I don't know. I lost it. I said several F words. I took it out on like Julia was sitting in the bed. She's crying and this and that, and she can't stop crying. She can't stop fussing. And Jamie's like, "Tell me, like, what is wrong?" And I was like, "Stop fucking talking to her. Like, stop." Because it's just drawing it out more and more. And I walked out of the room and all this and that, and Julia finally went to sleep. Jamie came in. I was listening to a book or something to whatever, and I just gave her a kiss, said I love you, wink, good night, and apologized for it this morning. But like, it's just it's frustrating. And when I apologized to Jamie, I said, it's tough when like I want to share something with you and I can't because I got this little pipsqueak over here that also wants to share stuff. And she laughed and she's like, I get it, I know you get frustrated, but like also keep in mind we're about to have 2 pipsqueaks that want our attention at all times. And I'm like, you're right. So I mean, nobody's damn perfect, but
just a short update. 93-90. Dallas is
Holy
going on a run with about 5.5 left.
Oh, wow. Luka scored all 19 of those points.
Kyrie had 3 free throws that he got. Looks like they've just been playing stand-up defense. And
that's good.
But yeah, and like that's the thing. Like I totally forgot Jamie being pregnant. I mean, that's a whole nother like piece of the dynamic. That's just I remember like. And Aubrey was 10, 11.
Yeah.
But for sure, man, like that's...
Well, and it's noticeable, and I don't know if this is true or not. This is just like me as a non-certified child psychologist that I've made this observation. She's acting out, and I get it. It's the time, whatever. But like, I believe that the reality of there being another child in our home very soon, because she's showing now, and the nursery is set, it's real. It's not just this, oh, there's a baby in your belly. It sure doesn't look like it. I've seen other women with babies in their bellies, and they got big ass bellies, and you don't have that right now. Jamie's got a belly, not a big ass belly, a cute little baby belly, and I think it's just starting to become maybe more real for Julia. Maybe, I don't know. She's also just a 4-year-old girl, and like. I laugh because Ben's reaction to the like, I don't want to be rude. Julia's like, I don't give a shit about being like, I get it, but
that's because there's some like. Then let me explain also, but I don't want to be rude because I don't want to be in trouble because I don't want to have to go to my room.
Yeah.
When I'm like, hey, dude, you're being mean. I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be anything that results in me in my room.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. Well, and that's where like again, because it's hard, like. She was, I think I talked about it with Steven maybe last week, but she was like kind of being a little bit rude to one of the my mom watches her and 2 other little girls during the week, Camp KK, and she was kind of being rude to one of the other little girls on and off, and I said something to her about, and I said it in front of my mom, and my mom corrected me, not like in a rude way at all, but I was like, remember, if you're mean today, like you're coming to work with Daddy. And my mom goes, you better be prepared to bring her to work. Like, don't say that and not come get her and bring her to work when she's rude. Like, and that's part of a problem that I have, that Jamie has, that we have as parents in general, is like empty threats, you know, not following up. Because the hard part is it's like, damn, like, you know, and this is just, I think, laziness on our part, but like following up with the consequences, it inconveniences us.
That's the thing, I think, with the, you know, the dog shit or the whatever, you know, the thing with Courtney that I'm always saying is like, you have to set a precedent.
Yeah.
And like, you have to then be consistent from that point forward.
Right.
You know, it's just like, it's like firing, you know, I have all these people that are under me at this plant. Like, I have to supervise them and whatnot. And you know, I'm always like trying to figure out the most strategic and diplomatic way to go about correcting and coaching somebody to perform better without having to be punitive.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I've created a habit or a behavior or a culture that you can do, say, or whatever,
Right.
you know, you can show up late, or you can take a longer lunch than you're supposed to, or you can get away with less of a standard than what we expect and whatever. Then if I just come in on Wednesday and go, hey man, I'm writing you up.
Right. They're like, huh?
Yeah. Like, I've got to be able to sit down,
Yeah.
have a conversation, go, look, here's the deal.
Yeah.
And now I have it in writing with you. So,
Yeah.
and we're going to, but look, starting today,
Right.
we're going to go from here. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I have to do with Ben. That's what I have to do with Aubrey. It's just sometimes I feel like I'm the only one. And that was the other issue with my frustration, is because as I'm saying it, I'm seeing it. Crazy. That was my beef with Courtney, is that I'm watching my dad take place, and I'm doing everything I can not to parent the way my dad did, which is not talk to you, just blow up and get frustrated, create a big scene, and then nothing gets solved.
Right.
And what I do is I get conditioned as a kid to go, all right, Dad's going to blow up in 3, 2,
Right.
1. All right, and it becomes Charlie Brown teacher for about 5 minutes, and I go, cool, you done? All right, I'm going to go back to doing what I'm doing, because nothing's going to change. You're not really going to sit down and try to have some actual, and I don't want that.
Yeah.
But this is what happened, because I've allowed myself to put myself in the position where I'm the person who's always blown up. So it's always, empty threats are no good. I have to be consistent. We have to be consistent, and we have to be like on a real front together.
Yeah, and it's hard. It's hard. It's we've gotten better about a lot of it, and like, it's, you know, I'm talking about this situation because it just happened last night, and it was not like one of my proudest reactive moments.
Never is.
At all. But it's also one of those things that I'm like, you know what, like, if 24 hours later, what I can take away from it is I was frustrated dealing with something that had nothing to do with my wife or daughter, and took it out on them, and draw the conclusion that, like, consistency in the you know, if that's what I can take away from it, and instead of my 4-year-old's a little brat and she doesn't know when to shut up, I feel like I'm doing okay. Like, I'm gonna be okay with myself for that, because I feel like you could also sit here 24 hours later still bitching and moaning that the little girl just doesn't know how to not interrupt. You know, like, I think that's part of this for me, is like, just, and again, it's just a part of the way we live our lives today, but being able to get out of the situation and assess it and just figure out where, like what you just said about the shit on the floor, and all, like, where we need to be better. Like, Julia, you know how many times she interrupts us? All day, every day. She's still 4. And like, I'm the grown up here, so I'm the silly one for thinking like she's gonna be any different.
Which, you know, that's the, not that I want to compare our children to dogs, but as toddlers, much to the same effect. It's like I was telling Courtney during all of it, I'm like, it's not Charlie's fault. He's a dog.
Yeah.
He doesn't have opposable thumbs. He can't open the door.
Yeah.
So you know what he did? He did what a dog does.
Right.
You know, and like, that's the idea. So you know, like Ben or Julia, when they're like flipping out or whatever, what are they doing? They're being, and you know, it's funny, Tracy, if you're listening, good friend of mine, I love her dearly. I maybe might have her on one day. She's got a pretty incredible story. Her late husband, who died, you know, about a decade ago or whatever. But she had an older daughter from a previous marriage, but her and Tony had a son, and Cooper, and Tony died when Cooper was like 9 or 10 years old, and Cooper had to basically become a man. And I remember early on, and she was struggling. She was struggling with Coop, and she would call me. She'd be like, I don't know what to do. Like, I need you to come talk to him. I was like, I'll always come talk. Like, whatever I can do to help, whatever. And I remember specifically she said, because this goes back, you're like, she's just a little brat. And it's like, I get it, but words are power, right?
Oh, for sure.
And she was like, that little shit. And I was like, that's probably all he's ever going to be. She's like, oh, well, God. And I was like, well, if he's not Cooper.
Right.
And he's a little shit.
Right.
That's all he's ever going to be. Because do you understand what I'm saying? She was like, I was like, I'm just saying, like,
yeah.
Why don't you try calling him Cooper?
Yeah.
Why don't you try calling him your son? Why don't you try calling him like the kid who's trying to deal with not having a dad, who's trying to, you're talking about how hard you got it.
Mm-hmm.
You've only got a few more years left of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, hopefully 30 or 40, but like he's got the rest of his life.
Right, right.
Like that's the whole, and I get the full circle. This goes back to, I think once you lose a parent also, like how you view the world and things like that. But it is like, I try to remember that my kids are doing the best they can with what they have. And again, I want to go back to, and I don't know that I did anything great or special. I just, again, tried to create an arena for Aubrey to grow up, hopefully safe and aware to become who she needed to be. But does she wake up on time to take the dog out? Obviously not.
Yeah.
Obviously, or maybe she does now. I don't know, but we'll see. I'll update you next week. But do I feel that when Aubrey said, I want to go to the movies with London and some friends, that I was like, yeah, in my heart I was worried. Just because there's all sorts of evils out there that I can't control.
Right.
But was I worried about Aubrey and her decision-making on the whole? No.
Yeah. Well, and that's...
So it's like, that's what I'm working
what
towards.
Right,
Like
right.
That's...
Well...
In the same with Ben. So Ben interrupts me. He's being rude. Okay, but like, can I get you to that place where I just don't like wig out thinking about you being out in the world?
Yeah. Yeah. But we've talked about that a lot recently too, just specifically with the word brat, like, because we've both been guilty of, you're acting like a little brat right now, and like, it's not, and it's just all stuff that we didn't know, like we're learning.
Going back to Derek, Derek talked about the whole thing about like, I want my kids to come, still visit. And it's like, Julia it may be water off a duck's back. Like she'll be 30 years old going like, yeah, man, my parents called me a brat. Like I probably was, whatever.
Right.
But is that what you want to hear?
Right.
Here you are 50, 60 years old and you're like, yeah, that's right. We used to call her a brat.
Yeah.
A lot of love in this house.
Exactly. I do, before we close, if you're open to it, would like to offer a potential solution to the Charlie Aubrey situation. I think next time you should just go shit on Aubrey's floor.
No. So legit, I literally was like, I wasn't going to wake her up. I was like, next time I got one brewing, if this happens again, I swear to God, I'm right on her bed. Right on her bed. Kind of Godfather put the horse's head in the bed.
Yeah, I mean, like what? That's your trump card, dude. I maybe let it happen 2 more times, and then
it was either that or like hold her from the bathroom,
or let Ben do it. That's even better.
I wanted to like withhold her from the bathroom, like just be like, "Oh, you gotta." I'm sorry.
You gotta go.
Sorry.
Tape her thumbs like this. Where are you gonna? Anyway. Oh man, I think our time has come to an end. It's late.
Dude, 95, 92 with 2.5, 98, 92 with 2.5 to go.
Yeah, don't count Luka and Kyrie out though, man.
Boston's starting to surge back again, though. I don't know.
We'll see.
Happy Father's Day, bro.
You too, man.
Like, seriously.
You too. It's cool. It's cool to get to celebrate that. You know what? Real quick, did y'all celebrate Father's Day? Did you celebrate your first Father's Day when Courtney was pregnant with? Was she pregnant with? Was she pregnant with?
Yeah, because she was pregnant around March. So yeah.
Yeah, that was a weird. That was a weird.
Celebrate? I can't.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember.
I was just curious because I remember I got a. I think it was that Father's Day that Jamie was pregnant. I think she got me a blanket with Ace, my dog's face on it, as like a Father's Day present.
It was weird for me because I had about 8 years or so with Aubrey, and we didn't really celebrate it because it was like, look, you know.
Yeah.
But I would get like Courtney's mom would send a any man can whatever it takes a step to, and I'd be like, that's like I don't, and I appreciate it, but like let's not Julia pooped on the floor, didn't she?
No, it's others. Other messages.
But yeah, man, happy Father's Day.
Same to you.
Jeannie Scott, 28 years ago, you saved my life. I love you. This one's for you.
Congrats.
Love you, brother.
Love you too, man.